My name is Brett Whitson. I'm a senior deputy sheriff at the Volusia Sheriff's Office. Currently assigned to the Sheriff's Office K9 unit. This is my retired K9 partner, K9 Endo. K9 Endo is a German Shepherd that was trained in narcotics detection as well as criminal apprehension. So we were paired together in 2012, and he retired September 11th, 2021.
Deputy A.J. Davis with the Volusia Sheriff's Office K9 unit. This is K9 Ax. He's a German Shepherd. He's trained in tracking and apprehension of any criminal felony suspects. He also does narcotics detection.
There's so many standout deployments that I had with K9 Endo. One particularly that stands out. November 4th of 2015, he was shot while apprehending an attempted murder suspect that had just shot his girlfriend and then shot at deputies prior to running. And that unfolded quick. So as I was getting out of the car, the guy turns, takes a couple shots at us, and then takes off running. So immediately I hit the back door, no leash, and sent Endo on the apprehension. And Endo made that apprehension in the woods, out of sight for me, but I heard the gunshots, and so I started calling Endo back. And he was reluctant, but he came back, and then he stopped in the woods, and he wanted to go back in, and I backed up against a big oak tree for cover, because there were still gunshots. And I turned my light on, looked at my hand, I saw my hand was covered in blood, and I knew that Endo had been shot. He surprised me that he had taken some bullets, stayed on the bite, and came back to me and still wanted to go. At that time, he was shot at the base of his skull, and it came out kind of behind his ear, in the back of his neck. And that was a relatively quick recovery. So the night of September 11th, 2021, there was a carjacking that occurred in Deltona, where a suspect had fled after the carjacking. He was later spotted, and he fled from deputies on foot. And Deputy Davis was working that area with his new K9 partner, Ax, at the time. I wasn't too far away, and I told Deputy Davis on the radio, I was like, I'll be there in just a minute, just give me a couple minutes, and I'll go with you. Because essentially it was open and shut. We had the guy on FLIR, the helicopter had spotted him, and it turned into something much more.
I responded to the area, being a new handler at the time. I'm really gung-ho, wanting to prove the dog can track and he can apprehend, and this was a bad guy. So I got on scene and put the dog on the lead, and so we deployed the dog from the roadway. He goes in. Our air support was kind of leading us to him, and as I was giving him lead to go in there, it kind of went tight, and then that's when we heard one gunshot followed by another. And at that point, I was just pulling him back. We didn't know where it was coming from. We had an idea of the area, but we couldn't see anything. I just wanted to get him back to safety. So I got Ax back to me, and immediately I saw him bleeding from his face. I thought it was his mouth. It was just running. So I loaded him up as fast as I could and just exfilled him out to the, I didn't know where I was going. I just was getting out of there to somewhere that people could take care of him. One of the longest rides ever, especially as fast as I was going. And when I got there, it was such a big relief, especially opening the back of the door and seeing how much blood was in there and stuff. I just knew he was in good hands at that point.
So we had called in more resources. We had called in SWAT. In my mind, I knew that, if K9 Endo was to go in, it'd probably end in his death. And that's the last thing I wanted. However, K9 Endo would be the only thing to stand between this guy and freedom if he chose to run. And ultimately, that's what he did. He found a weak spot in the perimeter, and he made a run for it. So K9 Endo was sent to apprehend him. And that was probably the longest 20 seconds of my life. So I saw Endo leave out of sight, go through some bushes, and then I heard the gunshots.
Dog's loose, dog's loose.
And when I made it through the bushes and saw him in the back of this plaza in the parking lot, Endo had him on the ground. He had caught him, bit him, knocked him down, and was giving him the business. He was unfazed by the gunshots. So at that time, we believe he had been shot in the face. So he took a round to his jaw, and ultimately his paw was shot also. I saw K9 Endo get hit. He came off for a brief second and then went back to the bite and remained on the bite till I got him off.
I've never You know, I had to go through a dog being shot. The bullet was in his stomach. They had to open up his stomach to get it out. But he essentially was ready to go in 3 weeks. You know, since the incident, it's kind of like we both grown and we both realized, all right, this is what we're here to do. My confidence in him is way beyond what I could imagine. You never know when you get a dog. You're kind of hoping he'll do good and track good and apprehend good and all these things. Now I know it. You know when he gets there, okay, there's a good chance if this guy can be caught, he's going to be caught. I mean,
he made me look way better than I really am. There was times when I would come on scene and this guy's not catchable. He's gone. And then Endo would say, follow me, we'll get him. And he would get him.
K9 Endo and K9 Ax were both awarded a Purple Heart for their injuries. This was Endo's second one. Endo retired after this shooting, but K9 Ax still continues to serve today. We are so very proud to honor our first team, K9 Endo and K9 Ax, with the Animals in War and Peace Medal of Bravery number 19. Congratulations to you both for your distinguished and heroic service with the Volusia Sheriff's Department.